Shalom, giving all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations as always to the elect. And I was checking out this video loaded to Jason A's channel. The title of the video is the video they don't want you to see. And he loads some good videos, but at times he puts that cheesy Christian pastor on there, and we're not with that, but we do go to his videos and use them, you know, as a means to report on what's happening in the world. All right, because everything happening in the world is a result of biblical prophecy. All right, and we see clearly where the monetary system is going and how it coincides with what John the Revelator saw in Revelation, the 13th chapter, all right, dealing with the MOTB. Now, when I was watching this video, as I'll show you and play it for you, it led me to thinking about this latest breakdown done by this brother here, Captain Joel from IUIC, in which, you know, they've changed their breakdown. They no longer teach that the mark is an embargo. You know, now they're teaching a different version because they do watch our videos. And we have been posing the question for years, what is the difference between the beast, the image, and the mark? So in this video, he tries to tackle that. All right. But he never touches on the buying and selling aspect. All right. But you bet your bottom dollar these men are watching. Okay. And for some reason, as I always say, you know, these camps, when they break this down, they're always stressing that the MOTB, as you can see, the MOTB, this is what it means, has nothing to do, all right, with the technology we see being put in place. All right, they now teach that the beast is Esau, which is true. The image is his religious system, all right, which that's only partially true. All right, they used to teach that the mark itself was Christianity. Now they teach that the image is the religious system because they're watching our videos. You see, but it goes deeper than that. Okay, the image deals with ultimately bringing back the ancient Roman way of politics. All right, the religion is a part of it. You know, the Senate House, you know, the Capitol building. All right, the Olympics. Okay, the idols, the holidays. Okay, which ultimately bring back the spirit of ancient Rome. Okay, the deadly wound was healed starting at the Renaissance, and the fulfillment of the healing was Babylon the Great, America, NATO, and the EU. All right, which they all healed the deadly wound. The deadly wound which was healed was the Western Roman Empire that fell. It was rebirthed into the earth at the time of what? The Renaissance. That's what Renaissance means, rebirth. All right, that started in Italy. You know, then it creeped Spain, French, Spain, British. Then you have the 13 colonies, which led to Babylon the Great being formed. Okay, so they teach that the image is Esau. I mean, the beast is Esau. The image is his religious system. And now they're saying that the mark itself is his political system and his monetary system and his religious system. So it's kind of all over the place. But as I'm watching this video here and it's showing us where the money is going, for you to say that the mark itself has something to do with the monetary system, why are you so reluctant to link the technology that's being applied to it to the MOTB? So let's listen to this, and then ultimately we'll go to that video and get a few points, and we'll close it out. I don't want to make this too long.
Fire!
Yeah, John saw destruction. Go on.
And them that had gotten the victory over the beast,
and the Israelites that got in the victory over the beast, those that are written in the book of life. The beast is the so-called white man, Esau. Go on.
and over his image.
Over his image is his religious institution. The beast is Esau, his religious institution. Go on.
And as we have videos on, the image is deeper than just a religious institution. All right. It's the rebirth of that ancient Roman way back into the earth. That's how the image both speaks and lives today. All right. It started at the Renaissance. What was that? The rebirth of ancient Rome. Remember, the Western Roman Empire fell for a period of 1,000 years. They were down. All right. But it was rebirth into the earth around the 1400s. Start with a family, the Medici family, the Borgias and so forth. All right. But what did that mark? The rebirth of that ancient Roman way, their art. All right. Their mindset. That's the classics, and everything else. Their image, their vibration started to be pushed again. They painted over the dark images of the Messiah. All right. Their political field, everything. All right. And it eventually was stamped into the earth again by the time you get to the British and America. All right. But all of those nations. All right. Italy, the French, the Spanish, the British, Babylon the Great carried the vibration of the ancient Roman Empire. That's how it was rebirthed into the earth. That's how the image speaks. OK, the image is deeper than just the religious system. All right. Now, in times past, this particular group taught that the mark itself was Christianity. But again, they're watching our videos because we always pose the question, what is the difference between the beast, the image, and the mark? So now they're trying to pretty much attack that aspect. All right. But for some reason, they're reluctant to link any of the technology that we see this beast system formulating to the MOTB. And that's questionable, in my opinion. All right, because here it is. We're supposed to stay away from everything this devil offers. OK, we're supposed to be leery of it. We're supposed to reject. But when it comes to that MOTB in the system we see being implemented in the planet Earth, for some reason, they're reluctant to even speak on it. They're reluctant to warn of it. You see? And this is not the only group that takes this stance, but what happened to the embargo? See, these guys are able to just change their breakdowns openly like nothing happened, lie, act, with all this pride. And then if we bring it up, then we're the crazy ones, because really you all want these to be the men. So you're willing to just ignore these blatant hypocrisies. But all right, that's just the way of the world. All right, I ain't tripping. All right, you do what you want to do, but let's just keep listening. So he says the beast is Esau, which is true. All right, but there's a system. There's the beast system. All right, America, the NATO, and the EU, but they have an image, which pretty much, all right, brings back the ancient Roman Empire into the earth. Okay, in more ways than just religion. Okay, we have the Capitolone building. That's the Capitol building. Okay, you have the ancient Roman architect. You have the Bill of Rights, the Constitution. All of these things, the Constitution especially, are based upon ancient Rome. All right, you have Roman numerals. You have romance. It's deeper than just his religious system. All right, that's the image. Way deeper. All right, but anyway. Let's keep listening to what they say the mark is and pay attention.
And over his mark.
And over his mark is his politics, his military system, his monetary system. All systems that come from Esau. Go on.
Wait a minute. Let's listen to that again, because that's the point I wanted to speak on.
Religious institution. Go on.
And over his mark.
And over his mark is his politics, his military system.
His politics, his military
His monetary system.
and his monetary system. Let's look up the word monetary. All right. It says pertaining to coinage or currency. Okay. Pertaining to coinage or currency, pertaining to money. Okay. Goes back to the Latin mint, coinage. Okay. So I want to listen to that one more time. Okay.
His religious institution. The beast is Esau. His religious institution, go on.
And over his mark.
And over his mark is his politics, his military system, his monetary system. All systems that come from Esau, go on.
How about the 501c3? All right, but we're not going to get into that. That comes from Esau. So all systems that come from Esau are fulfilled in the mark, but they mock, all right, the RFID. Okay? What's up with that? Now, let's play this video, and what we're going to do is pose a question. Where is the monetary system going? Okay? And if it just so happens that they do present, all right, although we do see it, but let's just say that they do present. Maybe you all haven't seen it. What if they do present a system to where you have to put something, all right, in you, okay, that will link you to the system, and that will be the way you get paid, all right? Blockchain, all of that. Will that have anything to do with the MOTB? Let's play this video.
Your Excellency, are you ready for a new world order? And so I think we have to go deeper, and it's not about the US versus China. It's about what underpins a world order is always the financial system. I was very privileged. My father was an advisor to Nixon when they came off the gold standard in '71, and so I was brought up with a kind of inside view of how very important the financial structure is to absolutely everything else. And what we're seeing in the world today, I think, is we are on the brink of a dramatic change where we are about to, and I'll say this boldly, we're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting and introduce a new one.
We're going to abandon the traditional way, all right, of buying and selling and money, and come with a new one, all right? Now, this brother Joel, all right, because I don't hate the man, but he's just going off. He just said, come on, now, let's rewind it for you.
And over his mark is his politics, his military system, his monetary system. All systems that come from Esau, go on.
His monetary system. All systems that come from Esau are fulfilling the mark, right?
And the new one, the new accounting, is what we call blockchain. It means digital. It means having a almost perfect record of every single transaction that happens in the economy, which will give us far greater clarity over what's going on.
Put simply, blockchain is a permanent record of transactions.
Blockchain is a permanent record of transactions linked in order or a chain to act as a timeline or ledger, meaning it's tracked. It's on the grid. All right. So if you're a barber, if money is no longer accepted, all of your transactions, wherever you get paid, will have to go onto, all right, this new digital system. All right. Now, one can say, well, all we got to do is put it on our phone. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure at some point there'll be ways to wiggle around things, but we know and see where it's all going. Klaus Schwab in the Fourth Industrial Revolution said, the world doesn't change, the people change. How do the people change? Okay? How do the people change? Ask yourself that. How will man be linked with machine? No, not phone with man. Not phone with, how will man be linked with machine? Let's look this up real quick.
The fourth industrial revolution will impact our lives completely. It will not only change how we communicate, how we produce, how we consume, it will change actually us, our own identity, and of course gives life to such
It will change us and our own identity. Okay? How are you identified now within the beast system? Your ID, your social security number. Okay, but what's coming? What's next? Are we just making this stuff up?
policies and developments like smart traffic, smart government, smart cities. What we will see is that everything will be integrated into an ecosystem driven by big data and driven particularly by close cooperation also of governments with
You could watch this video, just look it up. What is the Fourth Industrial Revolution by Klaus Schwab, a demon. Now, he said smart cities, smart everything. Well, what does that mean for you? How will the people be changed? Where's the money going?
Linked in order, or a chain to act as a timeline or ledger. And in Bitcoin's case, it's purposely decentralized. Central bank digital currencies can be blockchain-based or not, depending on the design.
It also raises huge dangers in terms of the balance of power between states and citizens. In my opinion, we're going to need a digital constitution of human rights if we're going to have digital money. But also, this new money will be sovereign in nature. Most people think that digital money is crypto and private, but what I see are superpowers introducing digital currency. The Chinese were the first. The US is on the brink, I think, of moving in the same direction. The Europeans have committed to that as well. And the question is, will that new system of digital money and digital accounting accommodate the competing needs of the citizens of all these locations so that every human being has a chance to have a better life? Because that's the only measure of whether a world order really serves.
But these
So the NWO has a lot to do with the changing of buying and selling. See that? And on the dollar itself, it basically they're saying our mission is complete. Our God, Satan, all right, has approved of our undertaking of a new secular order. They're telling you on the dollar, they're done with the dollar. The dollar has done its job. They're moving on. It's right there on the damn dollar, man. All right, which is being devalued day by day. And clearly the world is leaning towards not even using those worthless pieces of paper anymore. It's done its job. They're moving on to something else. Now, if Brother Joel says the monetary system and all other systems that come from Esau, Edom are the mark, why are they mocking what we say in the form of the charagma? What's up with that? And what happened to the embargo? Where'd that go?
Cautious institutions are now buzzing with talk of a revolutionary concept, a form of money you cannot see, central bank digital currencies.
Don't come to any particular conclusion about it, but they say it can offer the general public a risk-free digital money that is free from credit risk, free from liquidity risk, would not replace existing digital money, but would be an addition to it.
Surveillance and privacy issues could arise if the central bank is able to monitor every transaction.
You know, it is being implemented across the world. China's experiment is very large scale. When the world arrives in Beijing next winter for the Winter Olympics, they are going to be using the new digital RMB to shop and to stay in hotels and buy meals in restaurants. The world is going to see a functioning CBDC very soon, within the coming year.
Let's go back here real quick.
John saw destruction. Go on.
And them that had gotten the victory over the beast.
And the Israelites that got in the victory over the beast, those that are written in the book of life. The beast is the so-called white man, Esau. Go on.
And over his image.
Over his image is his religious institution. The beast is Esau, his religious institution. Go on.
And over his mark.
And over his mark is his politics, his military system, his monetary system. All systems that come from Esau. Go on.
His military system, his monetary system, all systems that come from Esau are the mark. Is digital currency the mark? So you have to ask yourself, why are they so hardcore against teaching that the chip charagma has anything to do with it? Okay? Huh?
Well, so far, Visa and MasterCard are already offering central banks around the world that have goals or ambitions of moving into a central bank currency to use their infrastructure to be able to do it. So I think it's a realization that that is the direction we're heading in.
Unlike your savings in a commercial bank, which rely on the bank's promise to fulfill, CBDCs are recognized by law and backed by the power of the central bank, which cannot go bankrupt. For example, if a commercial bank collapses, part of your savings could potentially be wiped out. But this wouldn't be the case for CBDCs, which could be as trusted as...
And that's coming. During a collapse, the money that you have in these banks, okay, the money you have, you know, in stocks and stuff like that, they'll be able to say, you can't get that. You can get a percentage back, all right? But we know at that point they're going to start coming with a new system, and it's going to be digital. That's going to be the answer to a lot of the problems that that's already presented, but they're going to present even more as more false flags come.
As cash, as convenient as a payment app, yet also benefit from the same blockchain technology, which, if a commercial bank collapses, part of your savings could potentially be wiped out. But this wouldn't be the case for CBDCs, which could be as trusted as cash, as convenient as a payment app, yet also benefit from the same blockchain technology which underpins cryptocurrencies. And, just like cash, CBDCs could be distributed through commercial banks, avoiding too much disruption to the financial...
And you see the phone, you see the fingerprint. It's going to go beyond that. You're going to be the phone. You're going to be linked, all right, to the city. And the city is going to be smart. You're going to be linked to the cloud. That's why this guy, Yoel, I forget his name, he said, we're no longer dealing with this God in the sky. The new gods will be, okay, the clouds, all right, that pretty much control and track and everything that's going to be going on within this new system. That way, they're God. Okay? As a matter of fact, I think this brother, here it is. His name is Yuval Noah Harari, all right, which he's a alphabet, all right, and he doesn't believe in the Most High, But let's listen to them. Let's listen to what they're forwarding into the earth.
Are probably one of the last generations of Homo sapiens. Because in the coming generations, we will learn how to engineer bodies and brains and minds. Now, how exactly will the future masters of the planet look like? This will be decided by the people who own the data. Now, why is data so important? It's important because we've reached the point when we can hack not just computers, we can hack human beings and other organisms. Now, what do you need in order to hack a human being? You need two things. You need a lot of computing power, and you need a lot of data, especially biometric data. But control of data might enable human elites to do something even more radical than just build digital dictatorships. By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself. Because once you can hack something, you can usually also engineer it. All of life, for 4 billion years, dinosaurs, amoebas, tomatoes, humans, all of life was subject to the laws of natural selection and to the laws of organic biochemistry. But this is now about to change. Science is replacing evolution by natural selection with evolution by intelligent design. Not the intelligent design of some god above the clouds, but our intelligent design and the intelligent design of our clouds, the IBM cloud, the Microsoft cloud. These are the new driving forces of evolution. And at the same time,
so you heard him yourself. Okay, you heard him yourself. Whew. You heard him. Not some god in the sky. Okay? But the clouds, all right, of IBM, Google, Microsoft, those will be the gods, all right, that are the driving force of the new age to come.
System, or the central bank having to deal directly with many millions of citizens and businesses.
In order to participate in Beijing, the Chinese government is requiring everyone to download an app called My 2022. Athletes, journalists, spectators, everyone there must put this app on their phones.
What is China's goal as it rolls this digital currency out during the games?
Well, you got to remember that cryptocurrencies pose a threat to the ability of any country to control its monetary policy and therefore its financial system. And these central bank currency
and don't get it
started this project as early as 2014.
Steve, it's interesting to look at what's happening in China with some of the experiments they've been running with digital currency. It might make it harder for our Fed because obviously China can do more tracking of citizens' use of the currency. They can use monetary tools that our Fed might want to pursue, like putting an expiration date, for instance, on currency when they're trying to stimulate the economy. But it does seem like they'll have to face down concerns on a number of different fronts and maybe clearly delineate what a digital currency can and can't do.
You've got that absolutely right. There are major privacy concerns that come with it.
You won't have privacy. That's what it's all going to lead to. All right?
This kind of currency.
It also means that for the first time ever, the government will be able to track citizens' transactions in near real time. The rather confusing term being used to describe this capability: controllable anonymity.
Controllable anonymity, to my understanding, it promises a kind of horizontal anonymity. So you can think about the counterparties that are involved in transaction can't necessarily access each other's personal information, but there is no promise or no guarantee rather of vertical anonymity. So any kind of user information can be readily available for the government. So I think that obviously has surveillance implications.
And that will make them the most high. Okay? As the scriptures say, no thought escaped him. All right? Now, this is the book of Sirach 27:2. We bring this out a lot. As a nail sticketh fast between the joining of stones, so does sin stick close between buying and selling. Okay? So when it comes to a system of buying and selling, you can easily entice one to sin. I mean, look at the majority of the stuff our people do. It's behind money. Okay? Buying and selling, all right, leads to a lot of friction. All right? Sin sticks close to buying and selling. So there's an hour of temptation coming, all right, when this new system is implemented. John the Revelator saw it. He saw them go into this change. And Esau's behind it all, whether they're talking about China, in certain parts of Africa, Jamaica. Esau controls it. Okay? And John the Revelator saw Revelation 13:16, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive. All right? Now let's look at what he saw them receive according to the wording. Okay? Charagma. Okay? A mark branded upon horses for what? Ownership. That's why you branded your slave, for ownership purposes. Okay? An image. It was meaning it was something physical, something carved. See, ancient images you bow to were cut out of wood, stone, gold, silver, and you would bow to it. Well, he saw an etching. He saw something else. This time, okay, it was what? All right. Imprinted, or the root word charax, a sharpened to a point, okay, a pale stake or a palisade. Let's look up a pale. I mean, really, it's explained right here, to sharpen to a point. It's just something sharp, something you stick into the ground, sharpen to a point. The idea of scratching a stake. This is what John saw. And what was the purpose of it? Okay? The purpose of it, trying to be as careful as possible. All right? You would receive that, all right, into your body. All right? For the purpose what? That no man might buy or sell save he that had the charagma, or the name of the beast, because once you do this, his name is on you, or the number of his name. All right. And we know the number, which, that Brother Joel went off on that. He said simply the 666 is fulfilled in the destruction of Esau, Edom. No, it's deeper than that. Chi-Psi stigma goes deeper than that. And we have a breakdown on it, but we can't load it to YouTube, of course. So it's on the Odyssey and BitChute pages, if you want that, because it goes way deeper than just the destruction of Esau, Edom. It goes into a plan that they have. And we're seeing that plan be implemented into the planet Earth. So the question is, why are you all reluctant to even speak on it? How is this new system not even mentioned? How is it not something we are to warn our people about?
So I heard you present at a conference, and I was so fascinated by the work that you were doing on.
And this is off of the beloved brother Yashalam, GMS Watchman. Okay, your employer will mandate at work, the charagma at work. Watch. Let's just listen to this and we'll end it off.
Microchips and employees.
Yeah, and I thought it was something that I sort of viewed as like a next generation sort of employee privacy issue, even beyond sort of the things we're currently dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And as I got into the research, at least for me, it was a little surprising that this is actually going on. Like people are voluntarily just outside of the employment, but just microchipping themselves.
They are
Having that done, and primarily it seems like it's taking place more in Europe. And
okay.
In Sweden.
Really? So you have to tell me the story of like people who are microchipping themselves.
I guess some people feel very comfortable with that. Putting the chip in usually it's put it in your sort of hand area, and it
really.
And so people will use the chip for all sorts of, I guess, personal purpose. You can use it to pay for items.
Okay.
And just basically store different things on that chip. I mean, in some sense, it's no different than having information stored on a chip on a credit card, or information stored on an iPhone, for example.
I guess one version we can imagine in the future, which sounds like it aligns with maybe what's happening in Sweden, is people, for whatever reason, wanting to get these chips for personal convenience.
Right.
And then once you actually have them, the employer is saying, well, actually, this is kind of helpful, either because we can surveil you with this thing you already have, or maybe we want to add information onto this chip.
And even in this country, there was an example a few years ago, and this was all, presumably done very voluntarily, but a tech company where a significant number of those employees they had sort of what they called a chip party, and many of them actually got the chip. They were sort of, I guess, it was all part of the employer, at least sort of organizing in a sense, and it was a tech company.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things in the paper, and we have this, of course, in other areas of law, but trying to figure out what should be the legal constraints on, what really is voluntary, what is really consent.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think through in the future, at some point, if a technology gets very widespread use,
mm-hmm.
in a sense, there becomes more and more pressure on, on individuals to acquiesce to what the majority seems to be in utilizing the
right.
technology, right? And so,
I mean, you see it already with phones. People already carry those around, and it's
right.
like for the employer to say, well, we want you to use your phone to like check into work, to log into work, right?
Exactly.
And then it turns out that app where you're logging into work can be used to just tracking your location.
There are steps that are being taken by certain state legislatures to actually regulate specifically on this point.
Really?
There are a handful of states.
What do they say?
Well, the juries that were doing the best job on this, their statute would have very detailed rules about what constitutes consent, sort of informed consent ideas within the statute, allowing for the removal of the chip whenever the employee would want. If an employee would want to allow access to personal information that's on their chip, mm-hmm. there would be no detriment or benefit gained by that.
Mm.
So that that there wouldn't be some coercion to actually acquiesce to this, and there may be no incentive because there wouldn't be necessarily a benefit.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of when Congress passed the GINA Act, the Genetic Information.
Yeah, with GINA, yeah.
Yeah, I remember at the time, I mean, that was quite a while ago. I remember at the time thinking, that's like ridiculous. That's like futuristic stuff or whatever. Right. But now, I mean, it's much more.
See, you thought it was futuristic, but it's here. The days are at hand. So what if an Israelite is presented with this who's in the school of IUIC at some point in the future, or ISUPK? According to what you've telling them, they don't have to worry about this. So what we're doing is actually love.
It's much more applicable.
That they could do something with your genetic information.
And relevant, yeah. Things tend to change fast.
Yeah.
So what you might think is something that is so far out in the future and may not always be so far out, right? I mean, because how long was it when iPhones first came about? Do you remember what year it was?
I'm going to say 2008.
Yeah, so I mean that's like 12 years ago, right? I mean it's not so long ago.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, right? Like,
and well, I think one of the things you said is that it's the technology is already here. I mean, this is chipping, like this technology exists.
Yeah, it's
now.
already there. Well, I think it's already there. It's just also though, like realistically, how much can the technology be used?
Mm-hmm. But the only thing that's standing between us and our microchip future is like a way for these microchips to make our lives very convenient.
That's what I see is that when things tend to be convenient, people just go to it, right? That issue, and we're accustomed now to, like, people for medical reasons have pacemakers, right? In some sense, it's like we understand that. As an accommodation issue, just in terms of being able to access facilities.
Mm-hmm.
With disability, having a chip could help them so much in their employment. Just to get through a door and have the chip where they don't have to use a key or a fob. And to have that sort of ability is very meaningful. And so if the technology is there and the employee could both access it, accommodation law disability would say the employer needs to provide that reasonable accommodation, right? Unless there's some undue hardship. So there are beneficial aspects to this. It's just, unless you stop and think through all the different scenarios, it may be hard to piece together what the law should be for different circumstances.
Twisted. Who runs China? All right, the British. At the end of the day, don't get it twisted with China. All right, who's really controlling that thing? But anyway,
especially the one in China, is sort of an attempt to offset that risk. And I think that it's a good idea for any central bank to develop one. And certainly China is the most advanced in this area so far.
Before they come forth, I tell you of them. New things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. Isaiah 42:9. So everything we see happening on the planet Earth can be tied to biblical prophecy, man. And we're in a time, all right, we're supposed to publish and conceal not. All right, Revelation 22:10. And he said unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. Okay. And boy, oh boy, it's best to just repent and be honest. But the reason a lot of these camps don't want to go into it is because we go into it. And I'm telling you, that pride is going to off a lot of people. Just recently, we heard that over 20 plus members of the IUIC passed away. Now, they were given advice in the beginning to go ahead and take the jump shot. See? All right, that taco sauce, that Biden taco sauce, they were given the orders to take it. But mysteriously, after the Bishop Nathaniel was sick, they started to speak against the jump shot. Well, you better, right now is the time to start speaking against this technology, man. Seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand, man. I'm going to just leave it there. Shalom.